supposed to be repiping or anything. I didn't bother with refabricating any of the water lines outside. I just went ahead and tied in, starting here. This cold water manifold previously was connected and dropped under the slab and continued over to where the hot water heater was. But I've since eliminated that, so that was part of what I needed to repipe. So eliminated this manifold here, tied in 3/4 inch cold, comes into the house. I have a 1/2 inch T coming from the manifold there, provides cold water drops to the Jack and Jill, and that's about it. Cold water continues to run up in the attic space, comes across. This is a lot of the work that I had Ruben do after I fabricated all the risers, so he did all these tie-ins above us. This 1/2 inch next to our 3/4 is hot, so that's hot. Coming in right here was a sconce. I had to remove everything, spent a little bit of the morning doing that. Tie in here, cold right, hot left. Same deal here. We have hot, cold. Hot comes up, jogged over for the sconce, come up into the attic, and then I have my water lines that continue to the tie-ins near where I decided to land the tankless. Here we continue to have drops that come off the 3/4 supply here and here. Hot, cold, they come down. This right here is for this is going to be that soaker, that elderly fill tub where they got a, where you step in, you close the latch. And I left 2 1/2 inch angle stops with the intention of being able to tie in flex connections from whatever deck mounted faucet ends up being right here. They are going to penetrate an access panel just to the left. Hopefully it's enough to tie in what I need. At some point in time, they did discover the drain line down here with a Y branch and probably some plumbing coming from the kitchen. I have no idea if the intention is for me to develop this drain or not. So this is something that's pending. The guys do ABS work around here, so maybe something that we don't need to take care of, but they may ask us to. Toilet's right here. There's the cold water supply. Roughed it for a Toto Drake tie-in up here. And this is the next standing stall shower. This is the one that's going to be that steam unit, sits in the corner. What it requires is 2 1/2 inch MIP connections. So I have cold on the right, hot on the left with ball valves. These probably won't be accessible after they close it with drywall, but to tie into the unit without having to disrupt water service, that's what I installed. So braided flex connections will connect right up to those MIPs, and that'll be done. So that takes care of this bathroom. They do have a code issue which may end up requiring a change order in the future. The width of this soaker tub and this wall is too narrow. I think about by 2 inches, 10 inches. So it's going to require some reframing or something, or we'll end up moving we may end up moving that stall over here, moving that over there. It's hard to say, but anyways, that's what I've fabbed in. To continue with what I've done, I'll take you into the kitchen. Okay, now here in the kitchen, some of this plumbing has already been rerouted. There's a soft copper line that comes up. This is soffit space across the ceiling, and then over to the laundry manifold. I'll show it to you after. So that was a repipe at some point in the history of the house, but it wasn't something that I did. But what I did do is from this 1/2-inch connection, I did isolate a manifold that was going down here servicing a hose bib that's now been deleted. So I've removed that and I'm replacing the hose bib on the other corner of the building. Ran new copper just between the walls, and then there's a new copper stub out for cold water. They do have plans to have an RO unit installed, so exterior to the wall, I'll do the 2 1/4-inch and 1/2-inch angle supply stops. Right here we have a hot repipe that I did, dishwasher and kitchen sink. This one is a continuation of a run that's going to come from the tankless that is yet to be developed, but it terminates in the attic where I plan to land the tankless. So I'll tie that together with the tankless and the hot water line. I've also ran this ice maker line, hard water, and I put the available 3/8 vinyl hose for RO system. So this comes up overhead, and I had Ruben go ahead and tie it into that 1/2-inch flex line, or that 1/2-inch soft copper that was coming from the previous repipe. And then the blue just continues and stubs out here underneath the sink. So that'll be for when I come back to install the RO unit. I'll have that available for the ice maker on the refrigerator. Moving from there, I had a point of contention where I had issue figuring out what I was going to do with these available water lines. Originally, I had discussed wanting to put the, let's see if there's any light. There is no light. Anyways, it's just the garage wall with a platform. Where I had originally planned to want to land the tankless, because I had my water lines coming from the manifold and we didn't have any intention of doing any repipe work. So it was meant to stay. And then when the homeowner came, she described to me that there's going to be cabinets all along that wall on the garage side, 5 feet wide, 2 feet deep, which then meant there was no way I was going to be able to put my tankless in this location, let alone these manifolds. After we had that discussion, I realized, and this happened, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, I had a conversation with, I think it was Wednesday, I had the conversation with her. I had only just then discovered I was going to have to move this stuff. Yeah, copper manifolds, they're sitting outside the wall. Copper manifold here, sitting outside the wall. It can be seen. Anyways, not too important, but they were outside, so for that reason, basically I've eliminated those manifolds, and what I was left with was hot water, 1/2-inch hot water line that I had to redevelop. And this 1/2-inch hot water line, which I didn't know where it was going, and this turned out to be the hot water supply for the kitchen. So that's why I had to reroute the hot water to the kitchen, because that manifold is now abandoned. At a certain time, they did some reroute work. There's well, anyway, it's hard to see. You see this soft copper line. There's one leaving that 1/2-inch to the far right. That's the one going to the kitchen. This is a cold water supply that I developed coming from the service line. And then this was 3/4-inch soft copper for a reroute they did on the hot water manifold underneath the water heater. So I've since redeveloped. This was original with the soft copper coming from the hot. This is my new cold line coming from the service line, and backfeeding basically what's left, which is just this copper line going to the bathroom. That's these 2 1/2-inch copper lines are all that's left to be repiped. I mean, outside of redeveloping these fittings, small stuff that's above the ground, but as far as copper lines left in the slab, is just these 2 1/2-inch. So we've pretty much repiped the whole house. You know, all the laundry bibs and everything are all above, you know, above the ground. They all tie in, coming right off service supply feeds. So nothing's left in the slab. All that's been eliminated. There's a hose bib that I did tie into that is just surface mounted in the garage, goes outside. So I made sure that maintains service. That pretty much completes the work that I've done today and through the week. Take you up here so you can see what I've got going on as far as the water lines that came in. So we have our copper lines coming right between here. Tied in that 1/2-inch cold water hose bib, and then I've prefabbed. I built this landing. I did some of this today. I had to frame in this platform so I could stand on it and allow people to be able to service the tankless when they come here. And then I have copper riser. That's cold coming up. I'm going to extend it higher. I'm going to try to land the tankless right above this ductwork so it could easily be serviced. And the filters changed and everything. Those lines need to come up, tie into the tankless, go back down. And then I got to tie in my hot to backfeed the manifold below us. And then a 3/4-inch hot that I have going to the master. And then a 1/2-inch copper connection right there that's feeding the kitchen. I need to tie into the tankless. So we're going to have a small manifold right here underneath the tankless. It's going to tie in all the hot water lines. So, and then I had planned to complete a 1/2-inch hose bib connection over here. I was running the copper water line right above us, as you can see, to tie into the 1/2-inch to a hose bib connection that I was going to put for the exterior patio. It's going to sit. It's going to penetrate the wall here. I want to, for the bid, I want to include it as completed because I would have planned to have finished it today, but they're doing some change order structural repair work. So I'll have a spout coming out right here to service this little patio. It should be fine, and I'm just going to run it 1/2-inch. It's the water pressure here is really good. I'm not too worried. Let's see, but inside in here, what happened is they used an 8-inch window when it was engineered for a 5-foot, and they wanted to keep the 8. So then structural plans had to change, and they're going to put like a I don't know, it's kind of support for the foundation and the window. Anyway, so they're going to put some blocking here, so I can't finish my drop for the cold water line through here because it's going to have to get redone anyways. So I could be finished after Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of those days. And then this last bathroom, which is the only thing that's left, if we did any repipe work, would be bring 1/2-inch copper, you know, across the attic, bring a hot and cold down here to supply what was the shower valve, but it's going to be another one of those steam units that they're installing. So I just have to, today I'll do this. I'll turn water off, cut the 2 lines, put the ball valves, put MIPs on it. That'll be done. And then this manifold is here. You can't really see them. Anyways, they just drop back under the slab and come up over here to supply the vanity sink, and then the toilet is surface mounted off the copper coming up for the vanity. So that does it for the week worth of work. And then I think I'll make a video for all the duct changes so that we're aware of what happened with all the duct work. And then I'm going to make another video for the proposals for the work that's left to be completed, which is really just the tankless as far as I can get to today, and then running the water conditioner lines from the service back to the service.